Hey everyone, Five Nights at Freddy's fan 555 here. Welcome to next Beam.ng Drive crash testing stream. This will be number 31, I believe. So, first, oh my god, let's see if we're everything okay, I hope. At least best I can get it, that is. King Ninja Video Maker said hi. Hey, thank you for coming. So, he said, so I've got some good news. Okay, so if you guys remember, from where we left off last time is we were on the Containerland map for, we're on the Containerland map for the industrial map, I think that's what it is, but anyways, we had left off with, I believe, one of these kind of cars. I already got everything set up. Flatbed truck lifted up and everything down there at the very end for us to go over and crash off of. But I got these two vehicles spawned in and ready to go, which is what we're going to use. And let's see, Ninja Video Maker said, I have a schedule for the Awesome Team and Ninja David stuff, so it's 2021 all the way to 2027. Okay. Okay, so if you guys want to know when my next reaction stream is going to be, that's going to be, gonna try to do it either sometime tomorrow or sometime Saturday. If I'm not able to do it sometime Saturday, my next reaction stream will have to be hopefully sometime Saturday, depending on which day I do it. I don't know when yet, but I'll try to hopefully do it tomorrow, and again, if not, I'll definitely try doing it sometime Saturday. So for now, let's go ahead and pretty much get started with our crash testing. Wasn't able to pause that because how fast we were going. And I thought I had this lowered all the way for the ramp. It should be. I don't know if it was something to do with the front bumper or what. But anyways, it looks like we've ripped. Oh wow, we it looks like we had ripped the frame support for the engine out, and is literally hanging on by one shock absorber now because of that. So it says the drive shaft is broken, so it's not going to move anymore now. Though the engine still runs, just can't drive it anymore now. Definitely damaged it pretty good for the most part. Can't really see damage underneath, which I got a way to do that here in a minute. Get an interior look for any damage. There is a little bit of damage to it from the interior, but not much. This bar across the top of the front window shield it looks to be maybe just slightly bent, but not much. I'll lift it off of here, we'll try to. Probably going to damage it a little more in the process, but that's okay. It's already damaged enough for the most part now where it's not going to drive anywhere anymore. And it looks like we're going to have to probably pull on it until it does come off there. Almost. It doesn't want to cooperate, and that's because apparently because the frame for the engine part of it had been ripped off. The engine is not attached anymore like it's supposed to be, yet somehow it still runs. How it still runs with it being like that now, I don't know, but it is. So we're going to go ahead and reset it, have it out of the way for our other vehicle, and while we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and swap it out with something else. We're going to go ahead and just swap it out with pretty much basically just a regular vehicle like that now, which I think we did towards the end of the last stream for this, but we're going to crash it again. Switch over to the truck. That should be tilted down all the way. Try decreasing height again. That's decreased all the way. Extend. It's fully extended as well, so I've been just something to do with the ride height of it. It's probably what it was. Alright, King Ninja Video Maker said so. Halloween special is about almost done. Going to release the soundtrack today, and the Halloween special will be released on Halloween. Just finishing it today. Alright, so don't know how much more work I got to do to it, but definitely can't wait to start seeing some of it. Alright, so I'm going to crash test this next. The Grand Marcus, I believe, the one of racing versions of it. Before we do it right quick, I'm going to move the camera over just a little bit, but not too much, so I can be able to control it a little better. It's kind of in the way of my hands a little bit with me trying to steer it. So I hope you can all still hear and see everything okay. Alright, here we go. For some of the slower cars, I'll try to put in slow motion as we're going over the ramp of the flatbed truck to crash them. For these faster cars, I'm not going to because of how fast they go. So, definitely went flying over that, that's for sure. Oh, we about flipped it over as well. Alright, so drive shaft appears to not be broken, though, however, gas tank is probably ruptured, even though it isn't saying it is. Front end, rear end of the entire vehicle is damaged. And the driver's side wheel is damaged. Can't hear it anymore now either because of it. Can try to, but it's not going to happen. Now it's not going to go anywhere because now it's stuck, apparently. Okay, from the interior, doesn't really look to be any damage at all, though there is to the front and the rear of the vehicle. So we're going to leave it for now and go ahead and crash test this as well. This I will try to put in slow motion. Definitely speeds up pretty quick though, which is what I like about this particular vehicle. It tends to speed up pretty quickly. Alright, right away as we were going over it, we hit into, well, no, we did with the other vehicle. We hit the back thing here and ripped it off. Went flying over here, going over the ramp. It looks like we have ruptured the gas tank on this vehicle, as far as there's liquid flying out of it now. And, well, if I can get, rear axle appears to have partially ripped off, if not completely, as we're flying over this. Ripped off the front bumper and the rear as well. Slow the simulation speed down. Put it in slow motion. Alright, so we'll slow it to 100 times. And click the letter J button, put it back in play mode. See what happens. As we're flying over this in slow motion. It looks like we had kind of hit that back corner of the cab for the flatbed tow truck, but not too badly. Probably going to kind of land on its side almost, from the way it's looking. Speed, simulation speed back up a little bit, around about 10 times. Let's see what happens. Yeah, didn't make it over a second fencing. Definitely did a good amount of damage to the vehicle, though. Put it back in real time. Turn the engine off since it's upside down, because we don't want to break the engine yet. Well, it doesn't really matter now anyway. It's damaged to the point where now it's not going to drive anywhere or drive shaft's broken. This would be a front wheel drive vehicle, I think, or rear wheel drive. I'm not really sure, but either way, the drive shaft's broken, so it's not going to go anywhere, especially with the rear axle being damaged now, like it is. Kind of lagging a little bit for some reason today. I don't know why, but nothing I can do about it. There appears to not be any damage on the inside of it, so People in it would probably be kind of okay. Driver, though, he would probably maybe have, going by the damage to the driver door, he'd maybe have at least a broken arm or leg. Just depends on his injuries or on their injuries. So reset it and go back to orbit first. There we go. All right. Set other control. Okay, change it out with a police car version of itself. That would be the Gravel Grand Marshal. So have around 4 different police cars. You have the miserable, it's made into kind of like a demolition derby car, though, even though it was a police car. Still kind of is almost, but have a Belisco City Police Department car, police interceptor, and a regular police package vehicle. Actually, no, we have 6 different police cars. These 2 are like basically undercover police cars, except this one is a retired police car, and then this one is a unmarked undercover police car. We're going to do the regular police car. So we're going to replace it with that. And I would do the lowrider version of this car, but because it sits so low to the ground, it wouldn't even make it over the ramp. I tried it off camera at one point on my own time to see if it would or not, and it doesn't. It gets stuck on the ramp trying to go over. Reset. Change this to a different vehicle now, not a different vehicle of itself. We'll do the E2K series. I don't remember if we've done that one or not. If we have, do it again, because I don't remember. We'll do kind of like the we'll maybe do the drift version of it later on at some point. We're just going to do the regular for now. All right. So, crash it first. Okay, never mind. It looks like we had bent the flatbed part of the flatbed truck. So we're going to have to reset it, it looks like. Yeah, we're going to have to reset it because it's bent there at the end of it. So reset it, shut the engine off because I don't want it on while we're crash testing. And actually, we're gonna sort of kind of pull that way a little bit, not too much. That was a little too much. I want it to be kind of somewhat straight. Trying to get a hold of one of these grabbing modes. That's probably good enough. Alright, so to set it back up, I'm going to have to decrease the height first. So it is all the way okay. Tilt down, let's page down. That's the, there we go. Page up is the, to tilt it up. Okay, and then extend the CTRL and page up. Should be set up now. Go back to it, crash this again. I'm going to go back to here right quick. Okay. Alright. Here we go. This time we'll definitely get a crash out of it. Except you got to kind of worry about that backboard thing for flatbed truck first. The car hauler. Well, we broke it off anyway, so never mind. It's still drivable. Just still runs and still drivable. Just has rear and front end damage now. Not any damage to the interior. It looks like just to the front and rear of it. Change back to the truck right quick. Okay. Yeah, we broke that off. Hitting into it again. Now we're going to do a police car, except what I like to do with it is you can go to the electrics button here after you click the ESC button or escape button, and then click the light bulb option that was there, and then where it says light bar here, you click it, turn on the light bar. When it's lit up like that, click on it again, and that turns on the sirens, and it turns red whenever you turn that on. That's why I like this, like some other emergency vehicles like this, is because you can do that with it, which I like. So now we're going to crash it with its lights and sirens going. We almost did a barrel roll crash, but that's okay. And then to turn it off, to click on electrics option again, and the light bar again to turn it off. Alright, so drive shaft is broken, so even though it still runs, not going to go anywhere. The only thing I'm going to do now is pretty much rev the engine. Steering still appears to still work. Just can't drive it anymore now because of the broken drive shaft. And the tire for the passenger side rear is broken because of the side of it hitting back here in the rear of it, which has damaged the rear end pretty bad. The front end has also got damage to it, and the rear passenger side roof appears to have been crushed inward. So from the driver's seat, the driver looks like they'd probably be okay. Passenger, they'd probably be okay too. Passenger in the rear seats, though, however, they would either not live from this, die maybe instantly from that, or at least have head and neck injuries if they were to live from that. But there we go. Reset it now. Change it out with different vehicle. We are going to change it out with a ETK K-Series. We're going to do the highway police car version of it, and I believe European highway police car, I believe, is what this is. This is what their police cars look similar to over in Europe, which is where my friend the Dash lives. Change it out with the different vehicles as well. With it, we're going to do load. We don't want to load. We're going to do Berkeley Grand. Kind of sort of trying to go in order with these almost for this. Looks like some new vehicles have been added to this kind of for this vehicle when I last played. One demolition derby cars, two apparently. One called the Nocturus. I don't know if I said that right or not. And then the ejection. I butchered that probably, but oh well. Said it best I could. There is a police package version of it as well. we're just gonna go with kind of the sort of regular one. We are gonna at least maybe change the paint color of it though. European highway police car, that is. Do the same thing like you would for other police cars, or turn on the lights and sirens. That is what their sirens for these cars in Europe sound like. They sound like this. It sounds completely different in pitch and tone compared to what we use here in the US. Alright, pretty much do the same thing and turn it off. Okay, we went flying and slid a pretty good distance away with this vehicle. We broke the drive shaft from doing that. It does want to kind of still drive though for some reason. Can't steer it anymore now though, either, because of the damage done to it. Taking an interior look. Center console, I don't know if it's supposed to be like that or not. It looks like it had been shifted because of how we hit the ground as we were crashing with it. Do this vehicle next. Made it over that. Did a little bit of a barrel roll with it as we were crashing it. But not much. Definitely still drivable. The engine and drive shaft appear to be okay. Though it does have front and rear end damage. And it looks like pretty much only damage in the rear is a bumper and the right side tail light lens. And then the front, of course, is also definitely damaged. So, I'll reset this now. Again, like I said, went a pretty good distance with that after we went over that. Now, didn't go as far with this. Almost did, though. Change them both to something different next. For this, it's going to be the what you call it? Wait on the load. Yeah, that's what it was. It's the Mouch car is what it was. we're going to do convertible version of it, which has crash test dummies in it. The reason why I want to do it is because it has crash test dummies in it, which works out kind of great for this particular thing. Other vehicles, though, you have to have probably like a crash test dummy mod to put crash test dummies in them, probably. If I tried. Change this out with load. It's slow today for whatever reason. Alright, we're gonna do the Ibishu Rammer with it. Change the paint color of it because I want the paint color to be different. We're gonna do ice blue. It's apparently a paint color, so we're gonna go with that. Crash it first, right quick, since we already have it spawned in. And we just about almost made it over the fence. We crashed into it as we're flying over the top of it, apparently. Apparently stuck on it. Yep, there we go. Did damage to the roof pulling on it. Didn't get it off, but that's okay. We didn't do that crashing into it. What we did do to it is damage that driver's side part of it. It does still want to move to drive, but it's not going to go anywhere now because the drive shaft broke. Actually, my bad. That's the passenger side of it because of how this vehicle's made. It's on steering wheels on the driver, or steering wheels on the passenger side. On what would be our passenger side is the driver's side for this vehicle, because I think it's a European car. So their passenger side is what would be our driver's side for here in the U.S. That's just how their cars are, and they're made. Crash this other vehicle. Abandon launch. Off-road, the convertible off-road version of it with crash test dummies in it. One in the driver's seat and one in the passenger seat on the passenger side. The engine in these particular vehicles, are in the rear. This instead of front. For some reason, it's wanting to steer a different direction for whatever reason. When I'm not even in control of it, and it does that automatically, whatever reason. So crashing it ended up like that, which isn't how I wanted it to end up. So we're just gonna leave it like that and go ahead and change it out with something else. change it out with something else instead, because we couldn't steer it to crash like we wanted. So we're going to do the Beam.ng next, which with it, we're going to have to start out slow, kind of slow with accelerating, otherwise it'll spin out and we'll lose control of it and it'll wreck easier than what we want. So before we floor it, can at first a little, but not much. But we'll lose control of it as we're trying to steer it if we do that. So kind of flooring it now to let it pick up in speed. And we're now good. Hopefully be able to steer it without losing control of it. Try to steer it too much and you definitely will. Or going, picking up in speed. I think we barely hit the top of that other vehicle there. And we did do a little bit of a barrel roll with it as well as we crashed. The engine was damaged during the crash, though it does still run and drive. Damage pretty much to the whole vehicle and definitely the roof. And the fact that it does still run is pretty good, actually. So passengers and driver, they would have definitely at least head and neck injuries for sure from that, because the roof was crushed a little bit. Not a lot to hopefully not kill anybody, but never know. Take a look at it, see if it did any damage to the roof any further. It doesn't look like it did. I don't think it did actually touch the roof of it. It might have barely. I just didn't notice or be able to tell for whatever reason. Go ahead and reset them both again. Okay, for it, we're going to change out and roll with the vehicle next to it, which was, to load. I forgot to click on it. There it goes. I was like, okay, it's not loading, so yeah. Alright, so next vehicle to it would be the Ibishu Prisma, and then other vehicle would be the older Ibishu Prisma. So we're going to do this one for this one, and then the other one for the other vehicle. And then we'll do at least 2 more vehicles for this Beam.ng Drive crash test and stream, and then that will be pretty much it for this Beam.ng Drive crash test stream. So swap it out now. Swap out it with the other one, which is a little newer, but not by much. This other one here that we spawned in first, it's the older one. It would have been around basically what would have been around the 1990s. And this one would have been like around the 2000s, like 2001 or 2002, or even a few years up from there, even perhaps. Just probably would just sort of depend. We're going to do like a vibrant red color for it. I kind of don't really like the brown or beige color. So since we have on in already, we're going to go ahead and do it first. somewhat decent horn. Some of the vehicles' horns are just, kind of puny, like the whichever vehicle was in there. But you know what I mean. There are some that where their horns are just sort of somewhat pretty puny. All right, got pretty severe damage to the rear and front of this vehicle. It does still drive and run, so can pretty much still drive it if we want it, but we're not. Do this one next. Barely made it over that second fence. Did flip it at least once. Didn't start doing a barrel roll, but we did flip it at least once. And it does appear to still be drivable. The front end isn't too severely damaged. It is right here in this corner of it, though, as it's been almost completely bent downwards to the ground. But other than that, it doesn't really look too bad. Interior is still in pretty good shape, too, except for that rear passenger side door and the one on the passenger side as well on the front. So, door frame. Yeah, door frame and a little bit of the roof on that side of it was crushed because of how it flipped. Actually, both rear doors got a little bit of damage. Not much. Go ahead and change it out with one of the last vehicles we're going for this stream for now. Go ahead and have it changed out, and then we'll do that on the other vehicle. Okay. So for this vehicle, we're gonna do the. Don't know how to pronounce that, but it's a Italian car, and the engine's in the rear of it. Kind of like the paint color of the regular one, so we're sort of kind of change the paint color of it. We're gonna change it to Verde Fabrente. It's kind of a dark green color on this, so we're gonna change it to that. Try it again. There we go. Go to this other vehicle. Set it. Swap it out with the other last vehicle we're going to do for this screen. It's going to load. Okay. for this is going to be the Ibishu Pigeon, is what we're going to do for the last vehicle for this round. We're going to crash test the other vehicle first, and then we're going to do the Ibishu Pigeon. We're going to use the we're going to do the one that has the 4 tires. The ones with the 1 tire in the front, I like them, but they're a little more difficult to steer, and they can flip pretty easy because of that. So change the paint color. Do fire red for paint color. I'm going to change it. I feel like it, so might as well do to the green one also. So we're going to do this vehicle first. See, that's what I meant by the horn for some of the vehicles being pretty dinky. Or puny is what I meant. It sounds kind of weak. Well, crashed into the back of that, so not how I wanted it to go, so let me reset it and try that again. See if we can get better results if we try it again. Okay. Takes it a bit to get up to good speed with it being a rear engine. I think it's speed up a little quicker, but it doesn't. It takes it a bit. Okay, there we go. Kind of barely made it over that time, but that worked. Okay, there we go. Kind of barely made it over that time, but that worked. Definitely would be still drivable, but because it flipped over on its roof for a brief moment, it damaged the engine a little bit. So, like you see here, the way it's made is the gas tank is in the front, along with the spare tire. So if you get hit, it'll be hooked up to the transmission, which it has. And that's how it moves the vehicle. It's the rear tires only, and for this vehicle. For front-wheel drive vehicles, they're pretty much the same way, except they're allowed to also be moved for steering for front-wheel drive cars, and you don't have regular drive shaft drive cars, and you don't have regular drive shaft like in a pickup truck that goes from the transmission to the rear of it. You don't have anything but your exhaust where the drive shaft would be. So the rear tires are back here, not attached to really anything. They're attached to something that looks similar to a rear axle, but it's not. But anyway, that's this vehicle. Take a look at the interior damage. definitely would probably have some severe injuries, especially the passenger. On the passenger side, put it back into orbit. Do the last vehicle for now, which is this vehicle. Horn on it is also pretty puny. And the way this vehicle is its steering wheel is where our passenger side would be as well. So I don't know if you can tell or not, but through the window, but that's how this is also. So, and the engine in this is pretty small, actually. Pretty small engine. Because it has such a small engine, it didn't really go as fast. So, didn't really get a lot of damage for it. I am going to go ahead and reset it, though. And the reason why is because I want to kind of sort of show you what I mean about it. So underneath, because this engine is like literally so small, the transmission is pretty small too, but right here is the drive shaft. This long tube-like thing right here is the drive shaft for pretty much mostly only pickup trucks and like box trucks, flatbed trucks, car hauler trucks, and semi trucks all use drive shafts similar to this. They're pretty much like that for them. So let's see if I can kind of rip the hood open. So to do that, what I like to do is I like to just sort of grab a hold of it like this by the center of the tires. Try to at least, and like no grabbers of to grab a hold of them. You hold down the CTRL button and hover your mouse over it and click the click button on the mouse like you normally would, and you hold that down to pull on it. And as you're holding that button, you click the right side of the mouse to attach it where you want to let go of it at. So right there is where we want it. Oops. Well, if I can get it to, doesn't want to. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I said that wrong. The scroll, the movable part of it that you use to scroll, you click down on that to attach it. That's how you do that. Do that one. Alright, then see if I can rip the hood off, or attempt to. That wasn't the hood. Let's try that again. There we go. Alright, the hood's ripped off. What would have been the hood. And you can, I don't know if you can see it or not, but way down right in there is where the engine is. Being because it's such a small engine, it's not way up right in here where it should be. You could really honestly just take that out of it and put a bigger regular engine in there in it if you wanted to. But the thing is, you have to also probably get a bigger, longer drive shaft for it, and probably change out the rear axle as well, which would be pretty expensive. to do. But anyways, let's say you want to let go of those nodes for that. Hold down the CTRL button and click the scroll thing down, and that lets go of them all. Alright, look at the interior. Here where our transmission hub, our hump would be, is where pretty much where the engine is, like exactly right there. So that's where it would be at. And ever since Beam.ng Drive had a new update a little while back, textures and all for a lot of things have been a lot better in graphics now. Like kind of like carpet on the ceiling now. You can see the texture of it a lot better. Same thing for leather. Looks almost really realistic looking now, which I really like it. Same goes for windows on the cars. A lot of the cars now as well. They have more of a clear look to them and shine to them now, as well as the body of the cars. Also, the body of the cars have more of a shine to them now. The texture for the tires look more realistic now too than what they used to way back when the game originally came out in 2013. So anyways, that's pretty much where we're going to leave off for now for this stream. So I'm going to exit out of it, or out of the game. Alright, there we go. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this new stream for my next new Beam.ng Drive stream. So whenever I do my next Beam.ng Drive stream, I don't know when my next Beam.ng Drive stream will be, but whenever I do plan on doing the next one for my 30-second one, I'll try to sort of let you guys know if I remember. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this new stream, and again, I'll try to do my new reaction stream either sometime tomorrow or sometime Saturday if I'm not able to do it tomorrow. So for now, I hope you have all enjoyed this new Beam.ng Drive stream, and if you have, of course, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and click on all so you'll be notified for all my new video uploads and streams. So until either sometime tomorrow or Saturday, thank you all for watching.